previous video, we said that if we go to the Systems tab and click on the Duct command, and then select one of these radius types, for example, then we go to Edit Type and Edit. Here it says that it will be using the type of elbow, which is 1.5W. Now we want to know what this 1.5W means. I'm going to start drawing a canal, a set of ducts, with the width 1000. I'm going to put a simple number so that you can understand it better. The first click, I'm going to zoom in a little, and the second click, click again and escape. Now I'm going to draw the same thing right next to it. Now the escape key, and I'm going to draw another one. And now escape again. Now if I select the first one's elbow, here in the properties window, do you see how it says 1.5W? So we're going to open that. Here we can see that rectangular elbow radius has 3 different subtypes. For example, we're going to select 1W. So now the first one's 1W, the second is 1.5W, and now we're going to select the third one and set it on 2W. Now what does this W mean? If you pay close attention to them, you will see that as their number increases, the elbows bend with a bigger radius. So now, what does that 1.5W mean? If we want to understand that a little better, we have to draw the central line of the elbow. So now, if we want to do that, we go to the Annotate tab, and then we go to Detail Line because we are trying to draw a line, but the line type is arc. This is actually an arc, which is start and radius, meaning that we have the start point and the end point and the radius. Now the third click and escape. And now we are going to extend these lines so that we can see the center of this entire circle. From either the Systems tab or Structure or Architecture, no matter which of these tabs we go into, at the end of their ribbons we see a panel named Work Plane and a command called Reference Plane. And its shortcut is RP, so make sure you memorize it because you will be using that a lot. So we go to Reference Plane because we are trying to draw a reference line. In fact, it's the reference or guide plane. But because we're looking at this page from bird's eye view, we can only see lines. It's actually lines that are placed vertically. So now we're going to click here and a little over here, click again. Now another click and click again and escape. Okay, so this is a plane, and because we're looking at it from bird's eye view and it's vertical, it's showing us in dashed lines. Alright, now we want to find the radius of this one. We have to measure from this center up to here. So we're going to go to the Quick Access toolbar and select the Aligned Dimension command. If you recall, we said that each command that is in the Quick Access toolbar already exists in any of these ribbons. So where is this command placed originally? It's in the Annotate tab, and here it is, Align Dimension. So in case this one's removed from here, remember this is where you can find it. Alright, now we want to measure from here up to here, and press Escape. Do you see this is the number that it's showing me? It's actually the radius of this one. It's 1000. Now we're going to select Align Dimension again. Now the first click and the second click, and when you find where you want to place it, you make the next click and press Escape. So what just happened here? Now we know that this central line's radius is 1000, as well as the width of our duct. So 1000 divided by 1000 equals 1, which means that the radius of this elbow's arc is actually the same size as our width. It's 1W. What about this one? Let's measure it with a line dimension. From here to here, 1500, as well as the width of the duct. So 1500 divided by 1000 equals 1.5, meaning that the radius of the elbow is 1.5 times the width of the duct. Now for the last one, click and click. 2000, click and click, empty space, third click, and escape. So 2000 divided by 1000 equals 2, as in the radius of the elbow is 2 times the width. It's 2 times the size of it. We can do these measurements both in AutoCAD and Revit itself. So when it said that the radius of the elbow was 1W, 1.5W, or 2W, that actually indicated the size of the radius of the arc compared to the duct's width. So can we add a new radius? Yes, sure we can. How do we do that? We can go to the Systems tab and then find and select the duct fitting command. So let's click on it. And here you can see in the Properties window, if we open this drawer, it will show us a list of all of the fitting types which have been included into the template that we have loaded on the project. All of them. You can see all of the radius, elbows, T's, taps, circular, rectangular. So what are we looking for? We are looking for elbow. So you can see up here we have a search section. You can see it's also blinking. So we're going to type in elbow. Now every family which includes the word elbow will be shown here. We're going to look for rectangular radius elbow and select it. We're going to click on one of these types. Then we go to Edit Type. And do you see this radius multiplier here? You can also see a description for it. The multiplier is 1. So we don't want to change that right now because we want to keep it 1W. So we're going to get a duplicate. And this number 2 has been added so that it wouldn't get mixed up with the original. So we're going to delete all of it. And for example, I'm going to want a 1.8 multiplication. So I'm going to type in 1.8W. This is just the name. We're going to click OK. And then we go change the multiplier to 0.8. And now OK. Now if we go back, we can see that a new multiplier has been added for the elbow, which you can see it's 0.8. So now we're going to open the duct command with the shortcut DT. Now let's draw a couple of ducts. Now escape. Let's select this one and set it on 0.8W. Let's measure it to make sure. We go to Align Dimension and from here to the center and blank space and click. Again, first click, second click, blank space, third click. And now it's 0.8. 800 divided by 1000, 0.8. So now you know that you can add any radius that you would like to your project. Depending on your project, you can measure your radius to know what it is and use it in your modeling. So now we know that if we go to Load Family, actually this is how you can find families. Insert tab, Load Family. You see, generally you can find the Revit's tools in lots of different places. This makes them more easily accessible. So if you see Load Family somewhere else, know that it's the same command, it's the same thing. It's only been put somewhere else so that you can find it faster. Actually, let me cancel this. You see, even if you go to Systems tab and the Duct command, and then go to Edit Type, so you can edit a fitting, you can also find Load Family over here. So that in case I can't find a family here in this list, I can just easily go here without having to close these windows and go ahead and load our family. So besides that, we can also go to Insert tab and find Load Family. Actually, let's go back a folder and go to Elbows. because these families, these elbows that you see right here, we want to see what they look like, so that in case we see an example or we're working on a project, we would know which one we have to use, and then load and apply that one on our work. If you take a look at this file, you can see all of the different types of elbows listed here. This one has a round shape, but it's still identified as mitered. Why is that? Because it also includes those splitter vanes. This is actually the same thing, and you can also see the vanes. You've already seen mitered with a 90-degree corner. Now, mitered double thickness and mitered single thickness. They also have those vanes, but they're either double or single. Now, radius, which was that round one, beveled throat sharp heel. Actually, the throat part is this part of it right here, as you can see. This one says it is beveled. This means that it has been given new angles and corners, and this name has been used in multiple places of Revit, so remember to memorize this one's meaning. It means that its corners have been broken into angles, and this part of it, which is the heel, looks sharp. In fact, it's the same thing as the mitered, but this part of it is beveled. This one says round throat, and as you can see, the throat looks round. Sharp throat, this sharp part right here, and round heel. And then down here, you can see the transitions actually, as in they are a mix of two or multiple different dimensions. The size of either ends of an elbow could be different from one another. This one's called eccentric radius. The size of this end is different than this one, and it looks like something like this. Now, mitered transition is again the same thing. It has been transitioned, as in the size of both ends are different, as well as this last one. It's a transition, it has a sharp throat, and this part right here has a radius shape. So these were all of the different types of families that we had for Revit. Actually, what I'm trying to say is that here in this elbow folder, these are the different types of families that we have. Now, another point is that when I was trying to draw these four examples, I went to Systems, Duct, and then selected one of these radius elbows and started drawing. And then I selected the elbow and set it as 2W or 1.5W. Now, if we are working on a project which is clearly including all 1W elbows, or any other number for all of them, in that case we have to set that as the fittings type. As in, we go to Systems tab and open the Duct command, then we go to Edit and say that we want to use this type, but I want all of the radius elbows to be 1W. We can either get a duplicate and create a new type, or we could rename this and then write down 1W radius. So now we just edited this one's name. After we do that, we should also edit the fitting. So from now on, if this type was to be used, and in case a fitting needed to be added, we want them to be 1W elbows. Now let's close these windows. So from now on, any fitting that is added, it is 1W. It saves us from having to select each and every single one of the fittings and edit them.